exciting episode of India IT 360 Present, the Tech Tea podcast. And I'm your host for today, Survi Sahay, Associate Editor at India IT 360. And with me today is a very special guest, Mr. Vempalli Sunil Kumar Reddy, a seasoned technology leader, startup advisor, and innovation strategist with over 2 decades of experience driving AI, cloud, data, cybersecurity, and enterprise transformation initiatives across global organizations. Throughout his distinguished career, he had he has led leadership roles with organizations such as Tata Consultancy Services, IBM, and GE, serving as a CTO, CIO, and transformation leader. He has led large scale digital transformation programs, built high performing global teams, and helped enterprises unlock significant business value through innovation and emerging technologies. Mr. Reddy, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for giving the opportunity. Really, yeah, it's a great opportunity to connecting with India IT 360. Okay, that is one of the great professional platform. I think we are weaving many broadcasts actually when we are discussing with many CXOs and CIOs. I think IT 360 is creating one best platform to the Indian IT professionals and industry connects, economy and researchers. Thank you so much to giving the opportunity participate in broadcast. Thank you so much. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir, for those kind words. It means the world to us. So, moving on. So, my first question would be, you have led global transformations across 25 plus countries. How would you describe your journey as a global CIO?
See, as a global CIO, worked for a lot of almost last 29 years. Okay, I learned the title of global CIO. It's not like where we can build a great solutions as a global CIO, but the real translator who stands between a boardroom and engine room. Especially, my journey took me more than 25 countries from a shop floor, from MES rollout to German and Japanese plants, especially for a clinical supply system for life sciences clients, as well as especially in a manufacturing sector or banking sector, especially from Switzerland or US. Okay, what changed across these decades in the unit of the value? Early in my career, I was measured on uptime and project delivery, but today I measured EBITDA impact. Right? The cost, effort, time. This is the major impact, especially in enterprises side. Okay. What value we are bringing, we creating for the technology through enterprises side. If you take Deloitte research, especially in 2026, a leading organization now attribute over 40% of the enterprises value to digital twin initiatives actually. Okay. And this is the bar I hold myself to actually. So this is one of the major one we were done actually. The defining lesson is the scale is not the sum of the local project. It is a deliberately engineered operating model. When I am run a portfolio more than 100 million, 2 million, 300 million, more than 3,000 plus engineers. Okay, a hardest discipline say no. Killing pet projects did not map to the profit and loss outcome, but I run every decision through three horizon lens, especially keep lights on, define the return, and strategic bets. When my past studies, which my leadership programs, which I was studied inside Harvard, my other leadership programs, especially my ability to read a balance sheet fluently and architecture diagram. The journey is one line migration from being a cost center to report on system deployed growth engine. That reports creative lot of revenue enable. Working on a capital free and risk retired. The shift to language, what earns a CIO a permanent seat at the strategy rather than an occasional invitation. So these are the things we are helping very well. The CIO is a bridge between a business, technology, domain, and he is a major creator where company success, especially for a business transformation standpoint of view, a value cost point of view. I hope that's the role which I played in different areas, especially in different
That's a
countries back in Europe for large
Mhm.
transformation. That's not okay.
That's a very well said. I heard that you have read in Harvard as well. So it's a big thing that we have somebody from that genre as well. So moving on, managing multiple million-dollar IT portfolios and global teams. How do you align technology decisions with business growth?
See, alignment is the biggest slogan. Alignment is not never say it's a slogan. Okay? It is a measurement system. So majorly, I refuse the present board with the system availability percentages, deployment diverse outcomes. Directors care about, especially IT directors or board directors, or care about the growth, margin, customer satisfaction, competitive position. But so I was going with a new TAM framework, a TBM framework. It is called a technology business management as the financial language between myself, the CEO, and business heads. The same discipline organization like MasterCard, the army used to connect every dollar what they spend for IT mission. On top of TBM, it called up the technology business management, which is I run a outcome scorecard of with 8 to 12 curated KPI aligned to the board risk appetite. So that the automation, most of the companies are going for automation nowadays. So the automation that cut order processing the time and becomes a story about capacity released and cost so reduced, especially on this one actually. It's not a story about the software actually. I also vary of alignment trap, brain identified being perfectly aligned to the ineffective. The path IT powered growth is first build high delivery and effectiveness. Then they aim precisely at strategy. Practically, I segment the portfolio into three buckets. Run the business, typically more than IT budget, which I attack through a automation and cloud. So any kind of things, it will help for automation and cloud. Define the run investment, multi-year strategic bets need an executive champion willing to put a stake in the ground. In manufacturing and life sciences, I tie technology directly a value chain, a digital twin, recent digital twin investment justified a yield a downtime, a clinical data platform, trial a cycle time and compliance, okay, where IT and business share one scorecard, one vocabulary, one capital allocation, stop negotiation, becomes joint decision. Basically, if you can take this one, actually, any business will work with IT aligned very well, where we can do lot of, with both together, we will reduce the cost of IT as well as will reduce the operational efficiency. Based on these things, we'll invest the money into research and other areas and we'll get the more margins using this, the company growth we can work actually.
Okay, that's a lot of information for our
No, because
listeners.
I was
Yeah,
gone to research mode because
yeah.
we need to tell how a customer, a
Mhm.
business guy, a IT guy, a end user, how four people collaboratively growth together, build the company, save the company's revenue, save the cost, and getting the revenue that will help the company's next growth actually.
Okay, that's great. So moving on. So you have delivered large-scale SAP S for HANA and cloud transformations. What is the biggest challenge in executing at such a scale?
See, people assume that S4 HANA program is the technology. No, it is not. After delivering this scale, I tell every steering committee the same thing. The binding constraint business process change the data, not the database. Okay. The 2025 industry data backup practitioner side business process change, customization, organizational resistance, and top barriers. Okay. So that is number one obstacle, especially when you take SAP itself ends their support in 2027, which creates a deadline driven the rush. The rush is exactly where program is failed. The biggest challenge is executing the transformation while the business keep running. One client described changing the wheels from a 30,000 feet. The other one will say, consider the scale. A large enterprises can carry over the 150 terabytes of the data, the decades of the custom code processing, because G code custom processing, length of the order as per the second. Okay. But my playbook has having four negotiables. First, the methodologies what they can use is first, clean core discipline is one, resisting recreating the legacy customization. Every modification is a future technical debit. Whatever we need to change or modification is a future technical debit. Okay. Second, ruthless data hygiene. Before cutover, we need to do master data quality where go live. It will be get bleed the data. Third is the face value roadmap rather than big bang approach. Using rise is the best approach for a migration as well as in SAP. Roughly it will save 20% of the cost reduction for 5 years, treated as a table stakes. Okay, that's because of these are the methodologies where we are saving a lot of money, a lot of revenue we were doing actually. Okay. So that is my, so nowadays S4 HANA programs are success because of the business alignment as well as technology alignment and end customer alignment. See, if you see here nowadays, okay, the projects run average 30% longer than planned because more than 610 exceeded the budget. Because whatever the projects we are running, sometimes a global projects, you take any life sciences project, big customers, okay, people they expected some budget because misalignment of the stakeholder management, associate, investor, customer, the multiple vendor management. Sometimes what business exactly need, the business their planning is they has to deliver in 2027, but the thing is there are a lot of other business also running on the organization, right? Depend on, sometimes they will not able to give the time because the sales team, finance team, the production team. So three people has to be aligned well. When you three people are aligned well, the cost gets saved actually. That's what my final answer actually.
Okay, okay. So you have been working on AI as well. So regarding that, the my next question would be on that as itself. With your focus on AI strategy and governance, how do you ensure AI delivers real business value and not just experimentation?
The uncomfortable truth, which I say openly in the boardrooms, come from uh, Mitananda's July 2000 report. The Gen AI divide state of AI business in 2025 built on 52 interviews, 150 3 leader surveys, 300 public deployment. Despite 30 to 40 billion in enterprise spending, concluded that just 5% of integrated in AI pilot extracting millions of the values. So out of that, only 5% of the things only got success actually. While the past majority remained stuck, no measurable there is no profit and loss impact. As Garner separately reports, roughly 30% of the Gen AI projects abandoned after proof of concept. So my entire AI operating model engineered cross what MIT calls the Gen AI divide. The failure is almost never the model. It's the execution of the poor data, poor work, no workflow integration. Because most of the people who are integrating this AI are developing the workflow integration or agentic AI integration. There is no clear outcomes actually. There is no proper governance, lack of poor data. So I enforce three disciplines. The first one is business use case selection. I required a business metric as a owner, a value single GPU provision. MIT found highest ROI sits return on investment sits back office operations especially has to cut down. The document processing, compliance, supply chain. not the marketing the pilot, absorb the more budget. Second value measurement built on the day one using cost per efficiency, unit economic, and total cost of ownership model captures the high production cost monitoring, governance, security, attendancy. Hope I'm giving more depth. Don't get me wrong, because the audience are required more depth actually, because the people agentic is most upcoming one now. Okay, so in our manufacturing practice, especially we use return on investment value where we can tracks the value more than 20 kps, 9 business licenses using this one actually. So preciously, the number of survived the COO unity, the third governance accelerator, which I'm talking about, I anchor on the NIST, A risk management framework, governance map measure functions, especially ISO 42001 with Gen AI ethics board and human loop high tech decision. This matters. The more agentic AI garner 2020 survey report, 70% of the believe that agents represent the new attack, especially on vector into an organization. Only 30% strongly agreed that they had a right governance structure in a place to manage them. Value comes focusing on the high value use cases, empowering the business owners, scaling the adaptive system on thousand often equipment. So finally, when you use agentic AI, we need to create a lot of AI governance, AI ethical practices, okay, multi-agent models, GPUs. So GPUs is one of the most expensive part, because everybody, right now, when you use Gemini, when you use Claude, all these things, we require lakhs of the data every day. Is people are accessing, but you need build a lot of data centers, okay, on top of AI actually, so that your data, your LLM has to be more mature on this part actually. So organizations are, they need to adopt the new ethical practices, new AI policies, and they need to adopt a lot of cybersecurity policies, lot of things. This will help them. They need to upgrade their technical teams into new technologies, emerging technologies, agentic AI or Gen AI, and all these things. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So for that insight, it was very good. For I guess it's way more than our readers, our listeners would be, want to hear and know about. So my next question would be: having built and led team of 2,000 plus engineers, what defines high performance global tech teams?
Okay. It should be like balancing cost optimization with innovation. What you're talking about?
I'm sorry, sir.
Can you repeat the question?
I'll repeat that for you. Having built and led team of 2,000 plus engineers, what defines high performance global tech teams? How do you define? You have been leading engineers under you. So do you define high performance global tech teams? How should your tech team should be there? So what is
See,
your take on that?
see, I'll do only three kind of parameters I can go.
Okay.
We build, plan, operate model, which I always go that actually, because whenever I build my team for 2,000 or 5,000 people, we always plan for next 5 years. What is the upcoming technology? That's the roadmap. I build my team. Every quarter, I build a target for my team. Actually. What kind of new business technology come in the market? What the new technology my team has to adopt actually, because those kind of technologies we can adopt, and those things can help to my team to upgrade to next skill set. We always work with innovation, research, the customer, current customer which we are working for. Let's say I'm working for one of the auto customer having 3,000 members team, but in that, out of 3,000, I build a core team of 1,000 people, the business people, or 5,000 people, or 500 R&D and research, but other 2,000 people are my technology business transformation people. In the world, what is happening for the same kind of auto business, other auto companies, what kind of business they were working actually, especially what kind of trends they are doing actually. Based on that, I plan my team mentor-mentee program. We will creating virtual solution architect, virtual solution leaders, and virtual CEOs. We create actually. Those people can mentor my team as the best team actually.
That's great. So you plan ahead of time so that you are ahead of time with your team. So the next question would be, you have driven massive cost optimization through cloud and automation. How do you balance cost with innovation?
I
Yes, sir.
reject the on-premises, the cost and innovation opposite, a discipline, cost optimization, especially what funds innovation. Okay. The mechanism of finance, when we run the business, consumes more than half of the budget. Every point is every point of efficiency I recover the big becomes its investable capital for the transformation, especially. So I institutionalize the FinOps foundation, inform the optimize operate life cycle to make the cloud to spend a team sport across engineering, finance, and business. Because of the state FinOps 2025 confirms workload optimization, especially and waste the reduction of practitioner top priority. Concretively, I drive the visibility through showback, a chargeback. So the product owners treat cloud is a cost as a P&L input. I write site retired ideal resources. I centralize commitment discounts and reserved instant strategy in a FinOps center of excellence. Increasingly, I push FinOps as a code. If you take a McKinsey report, everything is a code. As a McKinsey digital science value of FinOps code as a 120 billion based out spending of roughly 440 billion for a global cloud. If you take as infrastructure as a service, as a platform as a service in 2025 as well, roughly 28% of the cloud spending on the organization report as a waste. See, many organizations spending a lot of money on the cloud and multi-cloud environment, data, but it's not getting success. Some 80% of the companies are not getting success. 28% of the cloud are getting waste. Okay, depends on the company's CIO, CDO, and CEO collaboration. The cloud cost getting reduced because what exactly business need. I have seen the infrastructure fall from 17% to 18% revenue comparable enterprises, but there is there is a leadership cost optimization without reinvestment. There is a shrinkage. I ring enforce the portion of every saving dollar for strategic bet horizon. Agentic AI or digital twins, sovereign data platforms, organization feels innovation as a dividend of efficiency, not a competitor to it. Actually. The discipline is to be a relentless of the commodity. 70% of and generous of differentiate 30%. That is how keep margins healthy and innovation pipeline for full at the same time. This is the way we need to make cloud and AI and automation can cost optimization stuff we can do better actually. Yeah.
So moving on. So talking about the global capital centers. So how do you see that they play in the future? What is their take in the future? How enterprises technology is
See,
taking?
basically, global capability center, the key place for India. When I worked for GE in 2003, when we moved to India, US to India, Europe, when we moved, we set up a offshore innovation center, India Business Center, India GE R&D Center, Center of Excellence here. Okay. We are having 7 shore that time actually. The offshore, near shore, right shore, 7 shores are there. That is the way we build it. But GCC, especially moving from periphery center of technology, strategy, I have watched this shift accelerate from Hyderabad. One of the epic center, but right, the company, ANSR, NASCOM, and India GCC landscape report says India hosts 2,000 95 units, almost 1,700 GCs are established in India now. It is coming now. If you take almost $64.6 billion business, employing revenue, 1 million professionals are required because of this. People are saving a lot of layoffs, but GCs are creating a lot of revenue, lot of employment. As per the 40 billion in 2019, now it is becoming a lot of revenue stage, 9.8% CAGR. As market projected, its reach was 2020 from 25 to now we are 2026. When we reach 2030, it will become $1.105 billion business. The world will run on Indian IT, AI, agentic, quantum compute, and research professional. India will become a global destination, a patent country, definitely. Because India having a potential. See, if you see compare with US, why they are becoming, because they build the patents, they spend the money on innovation. So that's the reason they build the patent, they run the globally the business. That's why it is going to running globally actually. So now, the, currently, the three implication matter for any enterprise technology for GCC now: innovation, IP engine. India GCC host 1,20,000 AML professionals, 180 plus AML Center of Excellence. I'm talking about 1,28,000 professionals now, 125 Center of Excellence now, as per the 2000 survey recently sent, which is given by one of the top like Boston, KPMG, their record says. Okay. But second leadership is not shifted on that much easily. You know, right? In the company, CEO will have a separate dashboard, CFO is having a dashboard, CIO is having a separate dashboard, but combinedly together from a top to bottom, from an employee, from a shop floor, from project manager, from a production manager, has to be combined. Then things will be moving very fastly to work on the GCC's cost will reduce actually. So that is one thing actually. But you know, right? There is GCCs, big GCCs like 10,000, 5,000. You have a nano GCCs which is below 500, 200 people actually. So if you see some of the councils, Fortune 500 boards treating GCC as a captive vendor and start treating as a co-located organization. The future winning model is hybrid. Tier 1, innovation hub. Tier 2, execution retention engines. GCC and global partners like TCS and IBM and Capgemini, rather than two contract parties, the GCC where enterprise AI strategy will actually build the governor. So nowadays, what is happening to maintain their multi-model, multi-vendor model to save the cost from the US to India for R&D services as well as research services, the center of excellence. They are moving to India to build the GCCs very globally, especially for India, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, as well as Delhi, Ahmedabad, some of the cities actually. Yeah.
Yes, they are now moving towards the two-tier cities as well. They are targeting the two-tier.
You know, right? You say Mangalore, Coimbatore.
Yes.
Say like recently some of the centers it started in Tirupati, some of the tier 2 centers. In Hyderabad, if you see that Warangal, they started tied to small GCCs, their innovation, because we are having a lot of academia connect, right? Especially we are having research center from through Hyderabad, IIT, Chennai, IIT. These are the things having a lot of startup ecosystems, and they are having their own. If you see Nvidia and some of the Apple in recently in Hyderabad, they open an innovation center, one of the big college actually. So because now companies, academia, GCCs, and industries combinedly together We are creating massive employment, massive research opportunities, massive emerging technologies they are building, creating a lot of employment. But the best part is government has to encourage this academias as well as the industry connects, as well as these people has to create a industry leaders. If you take kind of Harvard, Stanford, inside some of the universities, they're having a lot of grants. They are putting a lot of investment and research. But where our people are studying in India, moving to other countries actually, though where we need to put a policy that at least if you go for different countries where they study in their own country, they need to serve for 3 years their own country. Until unless you are not able to build this policy, it's very tough to survive. Because if you see Japanese, Chinese, what they do, they learn the technology, they learn the things, they will adopt in their own country. But in India, in outside world, Indian people are the global leaders. They are becoming a global CEO. You see, the Pepsi is one, Coke is one, Microsoft. You name it, any company. Okay, a top 10, top 20. Our people are in big leaders, top level, but they are. See, Sundar Pichai is a great guy. He bring 50 million, almost biggest billion investment to Vijay, right? So every country having their own policy, own way of style, but India is becoming having the creating a global village. I hope it is becoming a superpower for technology as well as for industry soon. Anshu.
That's a great say, sir. Superpower. Looking forward to it. So, next question would be, when you're working with Fortune 500 enterprises, what differentiates success transformation program from failed ones? How do you, what is your say?
Yes, absolutely. There's a lot of things we seen failure, success, many things we did actually, because sometimes we have a good customers and we are having some customers never share their real plan, just they are give a bidding and we'll work on that, we'll work on their delivery. But after decades on this program, my conviction is blunt. Roughly 70% of the digital transformation failed to meet objectives. The Bain, the company, April 2024 analysis that 20% achievement their original ambition. The large organization transformed the headline being 80% of the fail achieve their original ambition because their ambitions are getting failed because it's not running the proper digital transformation. But they almost never fail. The reason is they claim they fail on people, on process, on technology. Around 70% of the failure because of the culture. Culture, if you go for China and Japan, the language barriers is one. So to understanding the language is one tough part. Understanding the culture. That is, these are some of the things. But around 70% of the failures are culture distance is the major one. And engagement, not a flawed platform. That is one thing. Okay. 5 things to operate the winner. So the first, CEO owned the not IT owned. CEO driven initiatives roughly 3x better outcomes than ideal. I insist the cross functional governance board, a real decision, right spanning IT, finance, operations, and the business. The second one, framing the right problem. Kodak invented the digital camera. A Blackbuster, Netflix is own stores. I'm telling you the examples. Okay, both saw signal and scale wrong solution. Third, embedding KPIs into long-term workflow. When McKinsey found makes success 7 times likely, the fourth treating change management, core engineering, pairing, every rollout without with training, communication, visible sponsorship. In 2024 April, we found that 70% of those successful transformation records said they understood which mission is critical, roles are essential. The proper governance should be very important. While 50% of 58% of those from poor performers felt they had the same understanding. Fifth, modular architecture. or monolithic big bang reducing delivery risk through face value. The financial stakes justify the rigor. The successful Fortune 500 transformation average 15 to 25% revenue growth into 3 years. The people who are done digital transformation, their revenue is jumped to 1% to 30% extra revenue which they got. If you take an ROI in 20 to 36 months, they got high profitable. The losses, mistake motion in the progress, glossy decks, alignment meetings, pilot never reach the flow. The winners are disciplined, accountability. The people who are run this project are running with accountability, honest, culture, patient based. People are collaboratively culture based. Okay, kind of successful thing they build actually. Technology amplify culture they build actually. So technology, business, domain, and the organization people. Four pillars, they deliver the things with the planned way, they success, and they got a beautiful business profit ROIs.
So, sir, that was a great insight from you. So, just we'll go on to a lighter version of the podcast now, to a rapid fire question round.
Okay.
Question and answer round. So, it will be a quick bit. So, global scale or local agility? What would you
See,
choose?
both by design, global scale as a platform. Local agility is the interface. If I
Okay.
force to choose scale, because agility without scale does not compound. This is my answer, man.
Okay. So, next would be AI first or business first?
See, business is always first. AI is the mean, it's a P&L outcome end of the day. Okay. AI first, how you join the 95% pilot with zero ROI. That's what I can say. Actually.
Cost optimization or innovation?
See, cost optimization is the funds innovation. Okay, be relatively a commodity of 70% generous on the differentiating of the 30%. I can say.
Build capabilities or strategic partnership?
Build the capabilities that differentiate you. Partner or everything else. Own the core and orchestrate the rest. That's what I can say.
Transformation speed or stability?
Speed is the takeoff. Okay. Move fast and a clean core, never the reverse.
Okay. One word for global leadership.
Lead every answer with outcome metrics, then the method boards reward, not bottom end upfront. Okay. Name any proprietary asset, ignore manufacturing or benchmark. A signal both inside depth and market awareness. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that was a great insight. So, sir, thank you so much for your sharing your valuable insight and experience with us. It was truly a wonderful session. It was my pleasure to host you today. For
Thank you.
our viewers to get more such insight, incredible insight from leading tech leaders, stay tuned with India IT 360. Do subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. You can also download our curated app for IT CXOs, IT 360 Connect, where you can watch more such podcasts, share your views, articles, and thoughts, and get first-hand updates on our upcoming webinars, roundtables, and digital campaigns. You can join these directly using the app and earn points with every interaction, which can be easily redeemed for Amazon vouchers. Simply scan the QR code on the screen and download the app to get started. That's all for today. Thank you once again, Mr. Reddy, for such an thoughtful session. And to all our viewers, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Tech Tea Podcast by India IT 360.